Three. Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. I know what you're wondering. Why is this studio packed with such beautiful women? Simply this. We're going to talk about beauty pageants. Let me explain to you a little bit of what it takes to do what these ladies do, because my daughter was in this same arena. They have to travel. They have to compete. Sometimes they even have to get sponsorships. A lot of work goes into this, from costumes to the way you walk, the way you present yourself. And I'm privileged to have these ladies today that's going to walk you through their journey on how they got into this, their end game, and their message to the viewers. I'm going to start right here on this side, and I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves. We can go to this side. Then we're going to get into some questions and answers. Who do I have here?
I'm Yavi White. I am the Teen Miss Royalty International Queen winner.
Wow. And?
I'm Daezii Eli, but I go by Daisy. I am Miss Royalty International.
And last but not least.
And I am Kyanah Linton. I am Miss Royalty International Teen Lifetime.
Wow, she said lifetime. What does that mean, lifetime?
I basically have my title forever, so this is a forever thing.
Okay, I like that. Is yours forever?
No, sadly, it's not forever.
So let's get down. Let's start on this side. And feel free, you guys, to chime in as I ask the questions. First of all, I'm going to ask all three of you guys, starting here, what got you into this?
Into the pageant? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it originally started with a text message. Sherry was asking for a picture for a flyer for a show that we had. And I sent her this wedding picture that I did for a photo shoot. And she was like, oh, my gosh, you should really get into MRI. And I was like, Sherry, I'm not really like a pageant person. I get very nervous. I have social anxiety. It's not for me. But then Kiana's grandma was like, listen, skip what you thinking. You got this. You can do it. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And I just jumped into there.
Really? And what was your story?
Kind of the same. Sherry texted me or called me like 2 months prior to the pageant competition and was like, you should really do pageants. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a pageant girl. I've never been a pageant girl. But she was really convincing. And I went ahead and tried it, thankfully, because I had to get a whole bunch of sponsors and stuff to be able to afford it. But I was, God willing, I was able to sponsor it. And, yeah, I'm really happy that I did because I ended up winning.
And what's your story, baby girl?
Last year, back in February, Sherry had texted my grandmother. And she had asked if I've ever done pageants before, and I've never done them. But it's been a thing that I've been wanting to do since I was younger. So Sherry asked me if I would want to, and I did. But she texted us, I think, like a month before the pageant. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really have any training. But going into the pageant, I ended up winning. But I'm really grateful that Sherry did ask me to do the pageant.
Speaking of that training, like I said, my daughter, who's now let me put the age out there. She's 19 as of August the 20th. She's been doing the same things for years, and I've seen the behind the scenes that go on. I see the money that you guys put in. I understand the having to get sponsorships. But what was it like for you to win your first show without training? Like, what was the procedures that you had to do? You just didn't go to your mom and say, hey, I want to do this, because I know she was like, your parents, how much is it going to cost? If I'm a parent, the first thing out of my mouth. Right. What was your journey like? How did you get into it, and what was it like to win Lifetime?
So I ended up winning my Lifetime title in this past July in New York. It was a really heartfelt moment. I didn't know I was going to win it, so when Sherry called my name to get it, I was just like, I'm winning the title, like a Lifetime title, like. My grandmother talked to me about it, and she was like, Kyanah, you're not ready. But then going into New York and then them actually having a conversation about it and saying Kyanah's ready, it really sparked something in me, and it made me feel really grateful for it, because it's like people are actually acknowledging me and seeing the work that I'm putting into it. So for me to win it, I feel good about it.
What do you mean, Kyanah, when you say you had you had other individuals that clearly said you wasn't ready. What do they mean by you're not ready? We hear that a lot when we enter into something that's unfamiliar territories. What do they mean you wasn't ready?
So, because I'm a part of the youth, there's a lot of things that I'm not ready to go out for and that I'm not ready to push for. But I've always been the type to be like, oh, if I want this, then I'm going to do it. If I want to get there, then I'm going to get there. I got to put in the work. I got to put in the effort. If I want it, I have to put my all into it.
Let's talk about training and being prepared for this. Let's start on this side. What was it like for you? What kind of preparation went into getting where you at? As a former athlete, bodybuilder, football player, Olympic candidate, I know the amount of hours. I know the foods I have to eat. I know the training, the whole 9 yards. You guys went into unfamiliar territories, according to what you're telling me. What was your first order of operation? Let's start here.
Well, the training for me, because there was really only one area that I really had to train in, which was the interview, because I'm not good at interviews.
You know I don't believe that. You came in here and was like controlling some shit.
Listen, I am so bad at interviews because I struggle with social anxiety. So I'm not really good with talking with people, but the interview, like practicing the interview was such a struggle for me because I kept messing up. I kept slipping over things. And she was like, you know, Yavi, maybe you just need to breathe. Maybe you just need to, you know, take a moment. Yes. She was like, because really the interview is not that hard. The interview is only 3 minutes.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
But 3 minutes is long when you don't.
It's very long when you don't know. So that was really the only part that I really had to work on. Everything else I pretty much had because I have experience in modeling.
And see, you got 30 minutes with me, so you better take a lot of breaths. What was yours like?
Mine was, I don't know. I really struggled a little bit just because I'm really new. This is my first pageant ever. So I didn't know anything. And like I said, it was 2 months, maybe like a month and a half before the pageant. So I did a lot of YouTube research. I'm researching how to walk in the pageant, in the competitions. I'm researching the type of dresses that I need to, purchase or get sponsored. I'm researching the interview questions. How, they said that you need to smile. So they were like, smile like at all times in the car, when you're walking the dog. So I'm just...
Which is the hardest part.
Right, literally, it was so hard. But yeah, I did a lot of self education. And also Sherry, in this pageant, it's really unique because she delegates like mentors that are already queens. So I had the chance to learn from a previous queen. She helped me so much. She helped me pick my interview dress. She helped me narrow down dresses. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one I'm gonna wear. And she was like, it's not giving pageant. I was like, dang, okay, so back to square one. So really the help from who she already has in the program and in the system is really what helped me.
What was the most difficult part for you?
I'd say the most difficult part for me was probably my confidence and how confident I was in myself, because it would be times where I'd be like, I don't think I can do this. Like, it's probably going to be a lot of people. People are going to be judging me. I don't want to do that no more. But then I had to overcome that and say, I got this. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to put my best foot forward.
What was your life like before that? You mentioned the word developing that confidence, being afraid of being judged. And we do that every single day, whether it be conscious or unconscious. We do that amongst ourselves. You're still in high school. You go to Pike High School. What was your life like just as a student before this came into your circle?
So before the pageant, I was actually going through a really tough time with school. I was in like a dark place where I couldn't talk to anybody, or I felt like I couldn't be myself. So when Sherry had asked me to do the pageant, that had gave me like a small light of like hope. Like, I can do this. Like, there is something out there for me. So then with that, winning the pageant, it gave me even a more boost of confidence. And it made me feel better because I went from that dark place to a brighter place within, I'd say, 2 months.
Let's go back a minute. I used to be a school teacher, kindergarten through 8th, history and physical education. What do you mean when you say that dark place? And the only reason why I'm shedding light on this is I'm a single father. I know what it's like to raise a little girl, but I also know you guys like to have your independence and a lot of things you don't share with your parents. I had to find out through my own show the deep dark sides that my daughter was dealing with in school. When you mention dark place, what do you mean dark place?
So basically, I was being bullied at the time. I was on a dance team as well. There were things that were going on the dance team that were starting to make me feel like I don't want to be around anybody. I just want to be left alone. At school, I was being bullied. Then it's taking my grades down now to the point where it's just like, do I even want to be here? Like, I'm struggling and I don't have any place to go to. I don't feel comfortable talking to anybody. I don't want to be around anyone. I just want to be left alone in my small circle. So I think that's what my dark place felt like. I felt like I had no way out and I really wasn't in the right mindset to talk to anybody.
Did you have a support group with family? Now, I know that's hard to, I know we say yeah, but it can be so dark that you don't probably even want to share it with even your closest confidants, which is probably your parents or your inner circle.
My support group was my grandmother and then my family on my grandfather's side. I think the first time that I actually talked to her and told her what was going on was the time and moment that she really understood, like, that I'm really going through it. Like, I am not happy right now and at the moment. So
What were the ones she said to me?
I said, this was around the time that I was on the dance team and something had happened. And I told her, I can't, like, I am not in the physical nor mental mindset at the moment. And at that moment, she took what I said and she took it to heart. And I felt like I actually had a place to talk to her now. Like, that was the time I felt heard. And then with my family on my grandfather's side, they are church people, so they prayed for me. They prayed for me every day, and I think that's what also kind of helped me. So I would say that was probably one of the most biggest support groups I think I've ever had.
Let's go to you. What kind of dark spots did you have before getting into this? And the only reason why I'm saying this is because people always think that the road to success is easy. You had to overcome a lot, and at your age, my hat's off to you. I hope that your story will impact other young individuals out there, male or female, that at least talk to someone, and so forth. Let's go to you.
I would say it was 6 months before I started modeling. I went over to my sister's house to babysit one day.
Look, you don't got that confidence. Sarah's voice just jumped up.
I'm sorry.
She ain't scared no more. Go ahead.
I went over to my sister's house one day to babysit, and I stayed over there for like 2 months. And I remember one day I was in the room. I don't know what happened. This is like the weirdest thing. I got really sad, and I started crying. And I called my mother. I was like, you have to come pick me up. I can't stay in here anymore. I just can't do it. So she ended up taking me back home. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the next day I'll be perfectly fine. I woke up, I wasn't fine. Wow. The next day I woke up, I wasn't fine. A month went by, I wasn't fine. Okay, now 3 months went by, I'm still not fine. At this point, dark thoughts start to cloud my mind. I was like, I don't feel like I have a place on earth at this moment.
What do you mean dark spots?
More like suicidal thoughts.
Wow,
I just didn't feel like there was a place for me. I didn't have anything to do, so I started listening to like a lot of church music. And I remember one day I started cleaning and I put on YouTube and I put on, I think it was the Gucci Winter 2023 to 2024 fashion show. And I was like, I don't know, it just it just made me feel happy when I watched it. It felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is why I'm supposed to be here on earth, because I'm supposed to be a model. I'm supposed to, be a inspirational person to somebody else that feels like me. So it's just, when I think about how I am now versus how I was, it's just crazy because it's just so different. I am definitely in a better place, around better people, in a better environment. It's just amazing.
Hold that thought. Tell me your story.
So my story specific to the pageant first was basically I had a lot of feelings of being what's that called? It's a syndrome, imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Yes. I had a lot of feelings of like imposter syndrome. I am not a pageant girl, like the typical whatever a pageant girl looks like. I'm not her. I didn't believe in myself at first. So me doing this pageant, even if I didn't win a title, would have been a staple for me. Just doing something, getting myself out of my comfort zone and following through with something. Because along the journey, I wanted to quit a lot. I was sick for 2 weeks. I couldn't work at all. I missed a couple practices, model practices, meetings and whatnot. And I was like, I might as well just drop out the pageant. It was a couple days before the interview. I don't know anything about this interview. I don't know what I'm going to put on my bio sheet. So I was feeling really low. I was starting to succumb to my feelings. But I pushed through, thank God. And I am really proud of myself for doing that because like they've been talking about, I've been in a kind of darker, low space for a couple months now, since about last year, and it's been really hard for me to shake that. Where in my past I was able to, I've always striving to be my higher self, my highest self, my best self. But the last couple months, I don't know, it just is not.
I sort of believe that, looking at you, that you would even suffer from imposter syndrome. Explain to the viewers exactly what it's like when you had this. What would a typical day be like for you?
Where I'm waking up, and honestly, I can honestly speak to this because when I won, I still had the feeling of imposter syndrome. I didn't make it down to New York City, so I was not able to compete physically with the ladies. I had to compete via Zoom because my flights were delayed and canceled over the course of all 3 days. So when I got the message and the call that I won, I still struggle a little bit even now with, do I deserve this though? Because I didn't get to go down there and, like the pressures of traveling and the pressures of being there physically in front of the judges. Like, is this fair that I won? So.
Why do you think you won? I know you had to sit back and ponder on that thought. Why do you think you won even though you wasn't there?
I think I won because I didn't quit.
Okay.
And it's crazy. I really appreciate that I was acknowledged for that because I wanted to quit before the interview. And I didn't quit even when my flights were delayed and canceled. I mean, they were delayed 3-4 times on Friday, 3-4 times on Saturday, 3-4 times on Sunday. And I still was trying to go. My dog ran away the morning of Sunday, and I'm like, he can just stay outside. I just got to make it to the airport. Right. But that became me wanting to listen to my own will instead of God's will. And it was very obvious that he told me to stay put. It was very obvious that he said, it's not meant for you to be there physically. So I was bumping my gospel music on the way to the airport, and my girlfriend was in the car like, how are you listening to this gospel music, but you're not even listening to God? Like, the sign that you prayed for last night happened, and it was your dog running away. But I was so fixed on, no, I'm going to make it down there, that the only sign I was open to taking was my flight canceled again. So I had to go ahead and turn around. I'm like, you're right. Who knows what would have happened if I would have ended up going down there and not listening to him. So I'm glad that I got out of my own way. And I feel like because I listened to God and also because I didn't quit is why I won.
Let me explain something to the viewers why we went down this path. We see too much commercialization when it comes to beauty pageants. You never hear the real stories. These women today have came on this show in that beast mindset, opened up and told you the real deal on what it took to get to where they got, the struggles. How many times have you watched the Miss America pageant and all you hear is beautiful sunshine, roses, and so forth? These ladies are here to tell you that shit don't happen. is television. This is real life. These women have put sacrifice and done everything to get to where they're at. What do you tell the future? Let's start here. What do you tell the future?
The future, keep going. Even if you don't feel like it, you gotta keep going. There's always a purpose in life. You'll find it. It may not be now, but you will find your purpose in life.
Baby girl.
Diamonds are made in the rough, so it doesn't matter what your environment is, what your circumstances, what family you come from, what hood you might come from. I want all the future young ladies to understand and know that this can be you too. It does not matter what your background is, or if you're in and out of juvenile, in and out of foster care. As long as you believe in yourself and you see a goal that God put inside of you, you can do that.
If you have a goal or you see yourself somewhere, I suggest you keep that vision in your mind, because that is one of the things that actually kept me going. I seen myself, living in a nice house, walking for Gucci, Louis Vuitton, or, I just seen myself in a better place than what I was. So I would say definitely, if you have a goal, always keep that in mind, because I'm telling you, if you keep that in mind and you see yourself there, you're going to keep wanting to push yourself to actually get there. I can't tell you how many times I have just sat and just thought about myself, I can't wait till I get like a nice little house or something. And that's what made me keep going. I can't wait until I get this. I can't wait till I get this. I can't wait until I get there, so I can, really just flaunt my stuff. Really just prove everybody wrong.
Oh, you want to flaunt? You want to
Yes.
floss?
Yes.
You want to floss?
That's big. Manifesting is big.
So let me ask you ladies a question. We got a little bit more time. You mentioned flossing. You mentioned money. What do you get when you go to these things? Like, what's besides a crown, besides a title? Is there money involved at the end? What's at the end of the rainbow?
For me, it's exposure.
Okay.
Every time when I go to a fashion show, or if I go see another pageant, I always get exposure. I always meet new people. I can't tell you how many times I walked in a room and met some pretty big people and have some amazing connections.
You like to network, right?
Yeah, I do. I do love to network. I'm not gonna, even though
right now you said I'm afraid to talk, man. You tear it up now.
even though I have social anxiety, I network because it can help me get out there. It can help my platform. It can help my social media.
Okay. And what's yours?
Same thing, really. The exposure, being able to network. I'm stepping through doors, or the title is pushing me in, putting me into different environments through different doors than I never really imagined. And I feel like this is a good outlet. I'm an artist as well, so I'm a singer-songwriter. I feel like this is a...
Wait a minute, hold it down. What do you mean singer-songwriter?
She can sing.
You got some songs out on Spotify?
I do. I have 2 songs out right now. They do not really show me for real. They're old, so I'm working on...
What's the name of those 2 songs so we can have them check it out?
So my name on Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube is Daezii, Daezii. Chosen One is one of my songs, and also Facts. Again, these are old songs, y'all, and I am turning over a new leaf. But please stay tuned, because I got new music coming out. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, tell me yours.
It definitely will be exposure, because I said before, everybody was just like, oh yeah, that's Kyanah. But now everybody is like, oh, well, that's Kyanah Chanel. Now you got to put a title on it, because now it has more. Now it has more to it. I'm not just Kyanah. I'm Kyanah Chanel now. So I think it holds more weight than what it did before.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the lady that put all this together. How did you meet her, and what has she brought to your life? And then you ask the same question, and you answer the same question.
I met Sherry last year, I would say in May. That was the first time I tried to do one of her shows. I couldn't do it because at the time I had a lot going on. Mm-hmm. Sherry is everything to me. She is like a mother to me, a coach. She's just like everything. She's so understanding. She's so relatable, reliable. She's just like everything. Like, I can come to her about anything and she has an answer. Like, she's just amazing.
And?
Yeah, she is a mentor, role model type of figure, I think. She's definitely very supportive. I love how she is invested in her business and is invested in each of the people who participate. It's not just I'm running Model Icon and I only care about my favorites. She really takes the time to coach each person specifically to what they need and makes everyone feel special. So kudos to her. She's really doing her thing. And just the fact that she's a woman boss, you know, she has the MRI pageant, she has Model Icon, she's doing shows every other month. Like, you better know Sherry, and if you don't, you gonna know her name eventually. So that's how I feel.
I met Sherry last year, and the first show I did was in Atlanta with her, and then I did a Model Icon show, and then that's when I had won my title. Next show I did with Sherry was in Chicago, same year. Next show after that, it was another Chicago show, same year. Next show, it was a New York show.
Hold on, Kyanah, how much money you got? Are you rolling?
I got $0 to my name. But Sherry has opened so many doors and given me so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
She's given me opportunities to walk in New York. Because of Sherry, I've been on billboards. I've been on radio interviews. Got to speak at some of her modeling shows. Like, those are big opportunities I would never take for granted. So Sherry has really been like an angel that I needed, like the gift that I needed to become who I am now. And without Sherry, I probably wouldn't even be modeling or doing the shows that I'm doing without her.
Let's talk about, before we wrap up, let's talk about investing in yourself. You tapped on something. You're going to a lot of shows, and I know as an athlete how much it costs to enter, how much it costs for hotel,
Yes.
how much it costs for food, and those dresses and all that other stuff. How do you convince somebody to invest that time and that money into what you guys are doing? Because some people would call this recreational pastime fun. You guys see the bigger picture. I get it. How do you change that individual's mind to invest in themselves and invest in what you guys are doing? Start down here on this end.
I show people how much I want it. If I want to go somewhere, I gotta show them how much I want it. I can't just be like, oh yeah, well, I want to go to New York. Can you buy me this dress? You gotta show me how much you want it for this dress. You gotta show me how much you put into to get where you want to go. So I gotta show them, oh yeah, I want to do this for real. I want to go to New York. I want these dresses. I need this. I need that. I gotta show them that this is what I actually want to do. I can't just be like, yeah, well, I'm modeling. I need clothes. I need shoes. Oh, I need money for a hotel. No, I gotta show them. I gotta put on a show for them to tell them, to let them see Kyanah wants this. Mm-hmm. So that's how I get people to change their minds.
How do you do it?
It's really with consistency and dedication. So I have a very supportive family, but you got to show them first, kind of like what Kyanah was saying. And so I think over the years, I keep coming to them about, I have a show coming up. These are my pictures from the last show. Thank you so much for supporting my last show. I have a show coming up. I need tickets. I need this. I need that. I'm consistent. I'm posting on Facebook. I don't even like Facebook. I don't even get on Facebook. That's for the family. That's where they at. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm posting on Facebook. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm making the calls. I'm checking in not only when I need something, but also, just you gotta deposit some change in there, so you can take out when you need to. But yeah, the way that I get the support is basically just praying and believing in myself. When they can see in my eyes that I believe that I'm going to make it here, I'm going to be Daezii, the singer. They're going to know my name. I'm going to be one of these top models. You're going to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, Gucci. I'm going to be walking in Paris in Milan Fashion Week. I'm going to be there. I believe that, and they can feel it by how I feel it. And so they're like, all right, then we doing it.
There's a lot of manifesting going on in this room.
Absolutely.
Woo.
Just like Daezii and Kyanah said, you do have to show them. I remember last year was my first year modeling, and I was like, I want to be the best. I want to be that model that everybody knows. So I had to work hard all last year, and it's so crazy because in the amount of time, I think I had like 6 months until like this award show ended up happening, and I end up winning the hardest working model and that was my first year. And I was only like 4 or 5 months into modeling. But I had to show, and it's crazy because when I won, I changed so many people's minds about modeling. Because a lot of people was like, "Yeah, you're doing good, you're doing great, you're doing amazing," but I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could invest all that money. And I'm like, listen, I have this vision in my mind of where I want to be. So I like all this investing. Yes, it's hurting my pockets. Yes, it's hurting my mama pockets. But like when I get there, oh, that won't matter because I will have the money. You know. So I didn't like. I don't know. It's just so great. It's just so great. I just want everybody that I meet to be a model, and you know, just to really get into the modeling industry because it's just so amazing. You can get so many things from being in the model industry that you won't get anywhere else.
Ladies, I'd like to thank you for coming onto the show, sharing such a beautiful story of your life, your journey, and how you got to where you got to at this point. I don't see nothing but roses getting handed to all of you guys in the near future. I hope you guys come back on the show and continue success. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton Show.